Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's menu is Korean spicy stir-fried pork with some vegetables. Um, so where do I start? So this recipe, before I start, I just want to mention that this is not my own recipe. I actually wanted to talk about this chef, one of the chefs in Korea that has been inspiring me a lot. His in America he's called like Mr. Pig, but well, it's like my town right now, but his name is Baek Jong-won. He is really pretty famous in Korea right now. He's known for like really good at home cooking, like sharing recipes that you can do at home really easily. So it's really friendly to all ages, especially person like me, where I try to keep everything to like minimum or just something very simple. And I really want to share that with you guys because obviously many of his recipes on YouTube are Korean. I feel like every recipe that the chef Mr. Paik has is very there's like always a little something a little different about it, which kind of really enhances and makes the dish a lot more tastier from what I see. So I just want to let you guys know that it's not my own. Okay. So to start off with, I have some just pork belly, like that. Ow. Mm. I mean, if I make too much, I could just save it for later. Okay. I know that a lot of you guys like it when I finish my food, but sometimes like the thing about me is when I'm cooking, I'd rather cook a large portion at like once, all at once, so I could just save it for later and maybe I'll just throw it in the microwave and eat it instead of trying to like cook it every time cook it from scratch every time. So I know that even though I might not be able to finish it today, I just hope you guys understand. But I might be okay though. So this dish is spicy and sweet. Like Koreans love that, and I feel like a lot of stir fried or even soup, even spicy rice cakes, they're spicy yet sweet. So you will honestly find a lot of Korean dishes that taste very similar but with different ingredients. And that's another thing I wanted to mention. Majority of the ingredients that I'm using today, I really think that if you love Korean food, it's totally worth the investment because with these ingredients, you could make almost anything, like the signature Korean dishes. For example, soy sauce, sesame oil, pepper flakes, pepper paste, soybean paste, and some vinegar and corn syrup. I feel like you can just make almost anything with that. Actually, not even corn syrup, because you could substitute with sugar, but cutting it maybe? Oil. I normally buy the frozen pork belly, but they only sold like big packages, and I didn't need that much, so I decided to go with the fresh ones that that wasn't frozen. And I don't know, I like them a lot better because their cuts are a little bit thicker, and I really like my pork like that. I mean, if you're having a party with your friends, I feel like the frozen ones are a little bit, it's better because they're cheaper, but if you're eating with like just another person or even by yourself, I feel like it's totally worth getting the fresh ones, even though they might be a little pricey, but you're not paying that much because you're only getting little, because they're so much better in quality. Okay, so right now I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. I think it's the sugar. A little bit of sugar. I feel like maybe a little bit more. Because I'm not adding corn syrup today, I'm just going to add extra. I could add the green onions, chopped up green onions. I'm going to actually add a little bit of, maybe like that much of diced garlic. Like a little bit. Now you could add a little bit of water because we are going to add some pepper flakes, and now just like a little bit, not much. Oh, this actually might be too much, but it's okay. Okay, and here, to add like 2 soy sauce. Okay, I have a little cheat sheet right here because I don't want to forget. 2 pepper flakes, but of course if you guys want more, I think I want mine a little bit more spicy, so like 2, maybe like this much. I want mine spicy. Okay, and then I'm going to add maybe like 1.5. If it's too much water, you could let it sit for a while. So the reason why you want to put water in here is because you still want the pork to cook without getting it burnt. So I just want to add water in here. But I definitely added too much water because I wasn't thinking. That's it. I might take out some water actually. And add the onions. If you have more vegetables, you could add more vegetables. But I kind of want to add more onions. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go get more onions. going to flatten. I'm just going to flatten them out, and then should be ready to eat. And before, so like the last step for this is to add sesame oil, but you don't want to cook with it. But it should be the last thing that you add into this dish. So like heat that off, and if you're ready to eat, add sesame oil, and you're good to go. Now I'll be right back. Ta-da! Doesn't this look so good? Okay, so I had some sesame oil and sesame seeds, and I have one fried eggs and sesame seeds on top of the rice, and on the side I have some lettuce. Let's try. you guys don't like the pork belly because it's really, fatty, you guys can use other leaner parts. It just, it has to be pork though. And if you're vegan, or if you guys can't eat meat, I think you could use like the shiitake mushrooms, because those are a little bit more chewier than the regular mushrooms, instead of using meat. Mm. No. Um. No, it's been getting cooler, which is summer over yet? When does fall start? Anyways, I'm so excited for it. because Ame loves sitting out in the balcony, but he can't because it's too hot. But I can already imagine him sitting in the balcony all winter with snow, sitting on snow. I can see that. It's gonna be so cute. So cute. I don't know if I told you guys this already, but one of the reasons why I regret getting a dog, and this is the only reason. It's not because I spend money. It's not because it takes time and whatever. It's because I could already imagine how empty I will feel and how sad I'm going to be for a long time if my dog's lifespans are like what 13 or 15 years long, and that's small breeds, and like larger breeds, they don't live as long. And hopefully he does, but imagining that and thinking about that, I regret getting a dog because I'm gonna be so sad. But in my head, I think that shouldn't be a reason to not have a dog, because they're so loving, they're so unconditional, and they're just so lovely. Yeah, I'm not saying this for everyone, but I feel like people who never had a dog won't understand. People are like, it's just a dog, it's just an animal. I mean, there are people even they after they had a dog, they still think like dogs are dogs or whatever, But even my parents, I told you guys, like they never liked animals, or they never knew they would love them so much after we got our first dog. And my mom said, like, I never knew I would like dogs this much, and after her, like, I'm not getting another dog because I'm gonna be so sad. And I think about that, but like, yeah, your dog lives for like 15 years, but you should be more optimistic. You should think about making that 15 years the best time of your life with your dog. And whenever I'm having so much fun with my dog, playing with him, playing fetch, and cuddling, and then I think, oh my god, like I might not have this, like I don't know what might happen in like 10 years, Thinking that makes me so sad. And honestly, I feel like if I was an actress, so let's say I was an actress or I was acting or something, and if I had to cry on the spot, I would think about that. I would think about my dog, and I think I would instantly cry. You know? Whenever me and my friends go out for a drink, and with close friends, we have deep talks. We talk about life, we talk about what we're struggling with, and sorry, you guys want to see this, but a lot of times we talk about our parents, and parents used to be number one thing that made me tear up. Like whenever I talk about my parents, I just start tearing up. I don't know why. But these days, I mean, like, I'm not trying to say that like my dog is more important than my parents. I'm not saying that, but my whenever I think about my dog too, like in just whenever watching a movie and a dog dies, one of their pet dies, and I instantly think about Ame, and then I start crying. I guess the more relatable you are to a movie or whatever situation, you just feel more emotional. Like there's a Korean movie, it's called Wedding Dress. Just by the title, I feel like it might be like a chick flick or something like cute, but it's actually really not. It's about a mom and a daughter, and the dad passed away a couple of years ago, and the mom finds out that she has cancer, and she tries to hide it from her daughter, but the daughter knows already, and because she knows that the mom is trying to keep it as a secret from the daughter pretends like she doesn't know. So both of them tries to act really normally, but at the same time they know like the mom's gonna die. So it's so sad because being a daughter, like when my boyfriend watched it, he was just like, oh, that's sad, but he didn't tear up or anything. But being a daughter, every single time I watch it, I think I watched it at least 4 times. I cry so hard every single time, and it's probably because I can relate to it. I'm not sure if you guys are into foreign movies, but I think that movie is really, really good. So you can watch it with subtitles, Like movies like that makes me want to be really good to my mom, and I call her and tell her I miss her, but literally like a day after I'm like such a jerk to her. Well, I used to be. I remember when I first moved to America, this is so stupid because I don't want to tear up, but I do want to mention it to you guys. When I first moved to America, like and I went into elementary school right away. I didn't know how to speak English. My parents didn't either. But whenever we had the conference, I always like asked my aunt, my dad's older sister, to come with me because she was fluent in English and I didn't want to be embarrassed. So I never, and I made sure for my parents to know that I was embarrassed of them, and like thinking even like I realized that in high school, like man, that's so stupid. Why was I embarrassed of my parents? Like, of course they're not gonna know English. Like, we just moved here. But after I realized that, like, after I realized, how much of a bad daughter I was, I think I stood up for my parents a lot of times because, whenever we go to a restaurant or some kind of like place where we need to get customer service, like they get kind of looked down on because they can't speak English. and I feel like they expect me to not speak English as well. And you know, like if I feel like they're looking down at us, I kind of like talk with more attitude. Because it's not fair. And I know that some people might think like, oh, just because they're rude to you doesn't mean that you need to be rude back to them. Well, that's true, but at the same time, like if you're in this situation, like how would you react? Like someone's looking down at your parents. Like wouldn't you snap and wouldn't you talk back? And I'm not sure if I'm okay to share this story. Like, even my best friend, she does that too. She's like, whenever I see my mom's like that. Oh, that's another thing. Like, my best friend and I always talk about it. Like, oh, whenever I go shopping with my mom, whenever I go somewhere with my mom, and we know that we're gonna see other people, like my mom's friends. I make sure I look good because, you know, if you look shitty, like her friends are gonna look down at her. Like, oh my god, you did a poor job raising your kid. But no matter how much, but no matter how much I fought with my mom or said I hated my mom, it's so like weird how I remember in eighth grade, I used to I don't know, I feel like eighth grade was like this, I feel like the graduation was sadder than my high school or college graduation. I don't know why, because during eighth grade, it's obviously a smaller school, and I made really really good friends, and then we did like all group of our friends were in choir together, and we did a lot of stuff together, and like school activities too. Like the last day of school when we were about to graduate, we had like a variety show at school, And after it was over, I don't know why, like I felt really sad, and my mom obviously was there, and when I saw her, I started crying. I don't know why. My mom was laughing, like, why are you crying? You graduated 8th grade. But I felt like I would never see them again. I was just really sad. I think I missed 8th grade a lot because we would always hang out together without any worries. I know, we go to the park, play basketball, ride bikes together, go to swimming pool and go to McDonald's after. You know, I miss that. And I mean, there was a little bit of gossiping still, but you know, it wasn't as much. But I feel like whenever you're sad and going through something hard, and thinking about your mom or dad or just seeing them, like I feel like you just get a lot more emotional than it really is. You know, they are getting old, and which is really, really sad to see, because I feel like, I told you guys, every time I came back from college for like a summer break, and whenever I saw my parents, they looked a lot more older every time I came back home. And not just like not just physically, but I just felt like they were just getting weaker, emotional. Like they used to be so strong. They used to be like mentally strong, and I felt like, you know, when you're young, you feel like your parents are never gonna die. I don't know why. Today's topic is just really, really sad, huh? But anyways, thinking about like them getting older and not being able to do a lot of things that they used to, I don't know, it really broke my heart every time I came back from college, and even till today I feel like that. And so I always like joke around with my parents, like, oh, you like you know, my mom mentions and my dad mentions once in a while, saying like, you know, I'm not gonna be able to work all the time, and I'm gonna retire soon, and you know, they just tell me a lot of stuff like that, and I always kid around because I just don't want to talk about it. And I tell them like, oh no, you have to work for the rest of your life. I'm gonna make sure you work, you know. I mean, of course I'm not, but I just like kind of joke around like that because I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready to accept it. I always mess around with my mom a lot, especially like sometimes like I go too far, and okay, this was completely a joke. I have no intention of doing this at all. Like I want to succeed, because one of the reasons is because I want to support my parents, and whenever they retire or whatever, I don't want them to feel like they need to save money, or they feel restricted when they're old because they're not working anymore. You know, I don't want them to feel that way. So that's why I want to like work hard and, you know, all that. Anyways, but I always tell my mom, like my mom like says like, you know, what are you gonna do if I'm like laying in the hospital on the bed and not being able to like get off, you know, get out and walk. And I always tell her like, oh, I'll make sure I'll get you something that you could work in bed. And she gets so upset. I mean, like she knows I'm kidding, but you know, I just don't like it every time she kind of brings like the mood down and make everything so serious, because it makes me really sad. And whenever they bring that up, I want to cry, and I don't know why they keep doing that. Like I know, like mom, I know that people age. I know that people get weaker as they get older, and I know that. Why do you have to shove it in my face? You know, it's so sad. And especially like, okay, my mom too, because she's a woman, but thinking about your dad, oh my god. I don't want to cry. But thinking about your dad is like is the king of the house. Your dad is the strong one in the house. Your dad supports the family. You know, he's the strong one. But imagining him not being able to do a lot of stuff, and it just really, really breaks my heart. And I think I mentioned this on my YouTube before too. I don't know if anyone remembers, but one time one time I actually heard my dad crying. That's when his dad passed away, and and oh my god, that was the saddest day of my life. You know, it's like I never thought my dad would cry. I mean, there are dads that cry a lot more than other people, but like my dad never cried. I never heard of him cry. My mom never told me he ever cried, you know, but that day he cried, and yeah. Now I miss my parents. Maybe I'll go see them. Yeah, I hope. I'm gonna end the video here. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna put it in like a Ziploc bag and then freeze it, and then whenever I wanna eat again, I can just microwave it and eat. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for updates and keep up with my new and to keep up with my new videos. And please do come back for next mukbang. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.